New Mexico, and Nancy's here from the Eddy County DWI program. How are you this morning?
I'm really good.
So you're telling me that yawning is not necessarily an indicator of tiredness.
Yes. It's an indicator that you're not getting enough oxygen in your lungs.
Not getting enough oxygen.
Yes.
So I need to stand up, walk around,
Yes.
take a few breaths, deep breaths.
Yes, and he needs to do this before all those lights start going out when he goes to sleep. So if we just get cut off, we just understand that he told me something and I've already forgotten what it was.
Oh,
so.
yeah, if I pass out, if I fall asleep here, just make sure all these buttons are red.
Yes.
The red ones are lit right here, and then you'll be okay because the computer will take care of everything else after 10 o'clock. So, yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's because I stayed up too late. We watched a couple episodes of Fawlty Towers, which is a British comedy series from the 70s starring John Cleese, who is from Monty Python fame.
Right.
So he had left the Pythons with his wife, who plays the maid in the TV show, and it's about a really eccentric hotel owner of a little bed and breakfast hotel in a resort area of England, and just all the crazy things that he gets into his head and does and all that kind of stuff. And even after this many years, because the first series was 75, so it'd be 85, 95, 05, 15. So after 46 years,
It's still funny.
it's still funny. It's still funny.
It's timeless, I guess is the way they would put it, right?
Yeah, it's timeless comedy. So if you ever come across it online or whatever, check it out. Fawlty Towers.
Fawlty Towers. Okay.
Yeah. And British series are different than American series in
They
that
really are.
they'll do 5 or 6 or 8 episodes and then they'll be done.
Yeah.
Or they might come back for a second series and they'll do 8 or 10 and then they're done.
I was watching one of them the other day, and I was really all involved in it, and it was done. And I'm thinking, I'm not done. What happened to you? I wasn't finished.
Yeah.
I was enjoying this.
Well, an example is The Office. And
Yes.
you've probably seen the American one with Steve Carell. Well, that was based on a British show, same name. Ricky Gervais was the Steve Carell character in that, and they did 8 or 10 or 14 episodes, and then that was it. They were done. And how many seasons did that air on American television? I mean, it went on for a long time.
A long time, yeah.
And a lot of times series go long past their
Yes, usefulness. Yeah.
You know,
So very true.
you go back to the early days like Perry Mason
Right.
in the late 50s. They did 35 episodes a season.
That's a lot of work when you really stop to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of murders.
That's a lot of murders. That's a lot of stories.
There's a lot of dying going on in L.A., 35 cases he had to deal with in 1 year.
And he dealt with them so well, too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, what's happening with your organization? What kind of news would you like to share with us today?
I would really, today I want to address those of you out there that aren't getting the message, I guess is a good way to put it. The past couple of weeks, I guess I've been in the right place at the right time to see certain things happening on a boat, and the lady says, I can't stay out here any longer, I'm out of beer. And she was the one driving the boat, and I'm thinking, okay, I think you just need to get your boat off the water.
Yeah.
It's obvious that you shouldn't even be driving, much less this. And then I was in a convenience store early one morning, taking my husband to the doctor, and was this very well-dressed, beautiful young woman comes in, and she got her some snacks, and I was getting some stuff, and she says, well, I've got my stuff to last me till noon anyway. And I said, oh, that's good, and went on about my business, but I got behind her in line, and she checked out, and then in her bag went 5 of those little bottles of vodka. And I thought, are you serious right now?
That's what she needs to get her through to noon?
Till noon.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm thinking, and so we walk out the door, and she has this beautiful Camaro sitting out there. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, I'm glad I'm going home. Do you realize how drunk you're going to be if you drink all of this stuff and if you resupply yourself this afternoon? And then I saw a car seat in the back seat. That lasted me the rest of the day. I was livid. I thought, how dare you? How dare you people keep doing this without a second thought? It's just become such a habit and such... I haven't got caught, so I'm just going to keep it. And really, I don't even see that there's an issue with this kind of attitude. And I'm thinking, well, that's interesting. And then, of course, the young man from Chaves County that got the DWI this weekend. And I'm thinking, you worked your rear end off to be who you are, to have the job that you've got. And I know that took a lot of work to have that particular job. And you just blew it. You just got drunk, got in your vehicle, and you blew your life. Why aren't we getting the message out there? Why isn't anyone listening? And I was thinking, do you people understand you can get help before you get a DWI?
Okay.
Will you please, number one, be honest with yourself that you have a drinking problem, or you wouldn't be constantly doing this. And not everybody does. Sometimes, and then people get caught, but it doesn't matter. It's zero. It's zero. You don't drink anything alcoholic or use drugs and get in your vehicle and drive.
Right.
And I know anybody that listens to me probably think I'm a broken record with this. But the more I see, the more I get out in the community, and the more I see people that are actually totally oblivious to the fact that they are drinking. They get in their vehicle because they've done it so many times.
And never been stopped.
Never been stopped.
Or if they did get stopped, never had any serious repercussions from it.
Right. And you're not even thinking, well, today I could kill somebody. That's never in your process of thinking before, because most of the time, this is just me talking, you don't think. You're not thinking, period. All you're thinking about is taking that drink and then, oh, well, I need to go down to the store. Or let's go to the lake. Never mind that I've been drinking all morning. And put your family in your car or truck or whatever.
Right.
And go and without a second thought.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to be on a bandwagon about this issue.
Yeah.
Which I guess I always have been, but the more I see,
you're coming across way too many examples where people just apparently are not paying attention or just don't have any concern for the actions that may result, or the things that may result from the actions they're taking.
And just to put it bluntly, I think it's very selfish. Very, very selfish not to think of other people's lives, your baby daughter sitting in the back seat, your wife sitting next to you, whatever. And folks, that too is an issue.
Right.
Don't get in the vehicle with somebody that's been drinking.
Right.
I don't care what it takes. If you're a family member, whatever, wives, husbands, don't get in the vehicle with them.
Yeah.
If they're bound and determined to go drive off someplace, just don't do it.
Don't get in there with them, because then you're the next potential victim.
And I wrote down a couple of things that are helpful, because you can call the Eddy County DWI program and see what you can do about getting help before you get into this mess that you cannot get out of tomorrow. As we have talked before, the penalties, the fines, the loss of job, the loss of your family, loss of your house, all of these things isn't going to be over with tomorrow.
Right.
One of the things is that they help you to learn to make better decisions in the first place, to stop and think. Find out how to drink responsibly, because we're not saying that you can't have a few beers at home. That's not the message we're sending out there.
Right.
We're just saying don't have those few beers and get in a car and drink.
And then get in a car and drive. Yeah.
Right. And most people don't think about binge drinking either when you get started drinking. Another example I have is a man who has been clean and sober for 2 years, and he had some things happen, and he drank 2 bottles of whiskey. Well, he could have very well killed himself. He didn't. They were able to catch him, and he has since gone to rehab, which I really commend him for that. Find out what your triggers are, because some of the drinking is emotional drinking, and when you start drinking emotionally, you lose everything.
Right.
You lose your good sense. All you're trying to do is drown out whatever emotion it is.
Right.
And surround yourself with the right people. If you realize that every time you get around this group of people, you end up getting drunk, then get away from them. They're not helping you. They're enabling you. They're, I guess, adding insult to injury.
Right.
So,
get some new friends.
Get some new friends. And I've talked to so many ex-drug addicts, and they all tell me the same thing. I had to get away from my quote-unquote friends.
Right.
I had to get away from the people that were enabling me to do this. Oh, alcohol's the same way.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Don't go partying with these people if you know you're going to get drunk.
Yeah. Find some new friends.
Right. And just please start understanding the consequences. You don't want to end up in such a situation where you have a murder charge against you.
Right.
You really,
or manslaughter.
Any of the consequences that are attached to a DWI, you don't want to go there.
Right.
Believe me, you don't want to go there.
You don't want to be involved in a situation where somebody's killed or somebody's paralyzed or somebody's permanently damaged for life. And it's in part because you chose to drink and drive.
Yeah. Generally, if it's involved that, it's totally the responsibility of the drunk driver. The other people in that other car didn't set out to end up in the hospital paralyzed or whatever happens to them.
Right.
And the last thing is, use your brain before it's impaired.
There you go.
What does that mean? It's simple. Before you start drinking, you make a plan. You think about who